McDaniel. The big men on the floor for him, Randall and Gobert. And it's Conley in at the point. We've got Bosh. Kyrie Irving is out there with Harden. Then it's Rodman. And it's Wembanyama in at the center position.
And for Harden, finishing through contact is just part of the job description. He gets bodied up almost every time he takes it inside.
No one covering.
Well, that's just fantastic awareness. Recognizing the overcommitment and exploiting it.
You know, Stan, even at this late stage of his career, Mike Conley brings tremendous value to the team.
He sure does, Kevin. And look, we know this. No one brings more discipline and professionalism on a nightly basis. He keeps this team poised. He keeps his team organized. And he's a great mentor to the young players on this team.
Now, here is Irving. Anthony Edwards unable to get his last shot to go in. Here's Irving. And such a nice move to make the basket work.
And that's a defensive miscue there. You can't let Irving get that kind of position inside.
And here's Edwards. Outside Conley. About a minute and a half through the first quarter. Harden against Edwards. Shot clock at 5. It's rebounded by Bosh.
And he rushed that one, no doubt about it. To be out of position, you can see the frustration on his face. Perfect timing on the alley-oop. Bosh has this kind of a connection with his teammates.
And it's Conley with the ball for Minnesota. It's a three-point game. Irving with the steal. And he lobs it up toward the rim. And Rodman with the slam.
Well, that's nice. You just throw it up there, and he'll go get it.
Minnesota off to a slow start. Conley, the pass to Edwards. Over to the left wing. Here's Randall. Some solid defense from Bosh. And the points coming for them now, Greg in bunches.
And we're seeing what a high-octane offense should look like.
Harden outside. Irving with the ball. Picked up by Edwards. Stolen by McDaniels. Pass to Conley. From downtown, the putback controls the rebound and puts it back up and in.
That's just an excellent save by Gobert, grabbing that rebound and getting his team a second opportunity.
Count it.
Oh, that's an effective use of the dribble.
Minnesota trails by 5. And the foul on Harden.
James Harden.
That is his first foul of the game. Both teams will make substitutions.
Substitution on the court.
Conley dishes to Randall. No one near Edwards as he lets it fly. Off target from outside. Here's Rose into the lane. Rebounded by the Timberwolves. And the wide open shot from DiVincenzo. Shot clock reset for the Timberwolves. Conley kicks to Edwards. Out to the wing. Shot clock at 6. Conley with it, and Bosh picks him up defensively. The Timberwolves again can't hit. Williamson, the pass to Bosh. Rose in the air and down hard. Woo!
Oh, stop.
Minnesota trails by 7. They could use a big shot here to get this offense going.
Too many empty possessions. Right now, they need a basket.
Randall no good.
Well, this was his shot to miss, honestly. Poor coverage, good setup. He just couldn't knock it down.
And when Rose goes on the attack, he stays on the attack, fights his way through the contact.
Randall dishes to Gobert. A 3 for DiVincenzo. And once again off the mark by Minnesota. Now 8 seconds separating the two clocks. Here's Harden. And he makes good on the layup.
And what a way to start this game, dominating at both ends of the floor.
Obviously, guys, brilliant coaching, a perfect game plan.
24 seconds left in the first. Edwards against Harden. To halt the run. Pass to Conley. Inside. And finished off by Gobert.
Oh boy, to be young again.
Makes you nostalgic, doesn't it? And that does it for the first quarter. They lead by 9. And don't go away. We'll be back with the action for the start of the second quarter in just a moment. And so far through one quarter, it's been a lopsided game. We'll see if that changes here in the second. Guys, what's your take on the home team so far?
Way to set the table. Offensively, they dominated on the interior.
Well, if they're going to be that ferocious inside, this defense is in for a long night.
And so in the game for the Timberwolves, Randall and Reed holding down the post spots. Then it's Dillingham. Then there's Dante DiVincenzo. And it's Shannon in at the 2 guard. Now here's Gilgeous-Alexander. Here's Shannon. And here's DiVincenzo from the arc. Drains the three-pointer. DiVincenzo's got 5 points in the quarter. DiVincenzo's gone 1 of 3 from beyond the arc. The key thing, Coach, that Dante DiVincenzo brings to a team is that coveted 3-and-D skill set.
I agree with that, Kevin, but he brings so much more. He can now play off the dribble and make plays for others. And I think the most underrated thing on a lot of players who become great is Dante DiVincenzo is both very smart and very tough.
Now here's SGA. Still yet to score.
An expert at getting into the lane and creating havoc. SGA.
Just about a minute and a half has gone by here in the second. And timeout called by Chris Finch. He's going to take this chance to talk to his guys. And Greg, we know he's a fearsome dunker, but Zion Williamson also has a soft touch.
And that's a great point, Kevin. He can finish in every way, either hand, through contact, off balance, on the run. A natural gift for converting around the rim.
Both teams deciding to change it up. Pass to Shannon. Now here's Randall. Reed with a screen for Edwards. The Timberwolves again can't hit. Outside Irving. Randall with some nice deep. Minnesota trails by 8. Pass to Shannon. And he takes that one up and powers it through.
A power flush with a long hang on the rim at the end of that.
That could be a catalyst for him. It really could. Quarter 2 and just under 2.5 minutes gone by. The shot's good from Irving.
Well, I guess the simple layup wasn't enough. He had to add some flair to it.
And here are the Timberwolves. Pass to Randall. The tray. Rebound by Wallace. Randall's gone 1 of 4 from the field. Here's Gilgeous-Alexander. Gilgeous-Alexander puts it up and through.
Oh, silky smooth shot there by Gilgeous-Alexander. He knew the floater was the right move to beat the defense.
Minnesota trails by 10. They've been looking out of sync offensively.
Yeah, their offense has ground to a standstill. And with the offense getting right to the rim, at least they saved the layup.
The Timberwolves shooting their first free throws of the game on this trip to the line.
at the line for two.
He hits the second from the line. Irving with it. 6 points for him. And the basket for the fourth time from the field. He's a healthy 4 for 6.
You can see there Irving just getting a little tricky with the handles. He has so many ways he can beat you.
And so Edwards will bring it up for the Timberwolves. They trail by 11. Here's Dillingham. And the 3 off target. SGA with the ball. Picked up by Edwards. And foul on the shot, so he'll get a chance at the line. It's his first trip to the line. No good on that one.
And this guy just does everything. Scores, passes, good rebounder. Just an all-around terrific basketball player.
Dennis Rodman, he's checked in for Williamson. Minnesota also with the sub. Shannon's checked in. Here's Shannon. And it's sent back by Wallace.
Access denied. You have to go up a little more aggressively when he's near.
It's stolen by Gobert. Here's Shannon. An easy 2 points on the layup.
Yeah, nice read by Gobert. When he's providing an assist, that is a big bonus.
Pass to Edgecombe. The shot's good. Gilgeous-Alexander making the play.
Another good play. This is how they built the lead, calling on the right guys at the right time.
Yeah, come on. They're just having their way out there and continuing to press the advantage.
And that's a foul called on Shai Gilgeous-Alexander. That is his first foul of the game. So it's both teams making substitutions here. 43 seconds left in the first half of basketball. Nice ball movement by Minnesota. For 3, Edwards nails it.
And by no means does Edwards take a lot of corner threes, but he will knock them down from there.
Conley against Rose. Won't. Harden outside. Over Edwards. Drilled from 11 feet out. Harden's got 6.
And that's a great way for Harden to keep the D off balance, just using the mid-range area.
And here's Edwards from the arc. Misses for the 5th time this game. Mark him at 1 for 6. Here's... Oh, look at that!
Just unbelievable.
The 3 for DiVincenzo. Hits the 3-point bomb. He's got 8. The deep 3 from Harden. And so we conclude the first half. Up 10. And we'll be back right after halftime to get the third quarter underway.
23.
We played through the first half. Plenty of basketball, though, left in this one. Kyrie Irving really making a difference here.
Man, he's been running wild on him through that first half. Absolute dynamite on offense.
Yeah, and in terms of slowing him down, I think they're going to have to change things up. Give him some different looks.
Victor Wembanyama's checked in for Ben Wallace. We've got Luka Doncic. Bosh is out there with Wembanyama. Then there's Derrick Rose. And it's Rodman in at the small forward. So that's who Chauncey Billups starts the second half with. Here's Rose. Gobert with the defensive effort. Minnesota trails by 10. And a 4-time Defensive Player of the Year. Rudy Gobert is improving his perimeter defense as well, Greg. It's helped his overall game.
Yeah, teams have looked to pull him outside and test his lateral quickness. But I tell you, he holds up better than you think, and we know his presence at the rim.
Now, here's Doncic, and the shot goes in.
And he's such a polished shooter. You can't give Doncic these kinds of opportunities or he's going to burn you.
Edwards looking it over. In the corner, it's DiVincenzo. 6 on the shot clock. Randall finds DiVincenzo. No problems knocking that one down. DiVincenzo's got it back down to single digits for Minnesota. DiVincenzo's gone 3 of 6 in his three-point shooting tonight. Outside Bosch. Pass to Rodman. Now here's Rose. And he drives in. Banked in off the glass. Rose has got 10 points in the game.
And Rose proving already to be a relentless competitor, excellent at finding ways to finish inside.
And timeout called by Chris Finch. This now will give him a chance to discuss some potential changes. Minnesota trails by 11. Randall outside. Jacks up a 3. It's rebounded by Edgecombe.
And when you can't get anything to fall, it definitely gets in your head.
Yeah, they might want to draw something up here to get him something at the rim or get him to the free throw line. Sometimes that's all it takes to snap the whole streak.
And that one drops.
Explosive in that painted area. Edgecombe can just rise above any type of resistance.
Randall outside. Back to Conley. Outside Edwards. Shoots the 3. The Timberwolves again can't hit. Hard-fought bucket for AI.
And Matador defense, that's one of the easiest shots he is ever going to see.
An unorganized defense like that is not going to help them close this deficit.
And so it's Conley bringing up the ball for Minnesota. 15-point game. Third quarter here, and 3 minutes have come off the clock. And here's DiVincenzo from the arc. Iverson with the ball. Conley picks him up. Iverson gets the bucket. Iverson's got 4 points this quarter.
Offensively, defensively, they are in total control.
Absolutely. They're playing their game and executing at a real high level. Everything is working for them right now.
Here is Edwards after the made shot from Allen Iverson. Edwards passes to DiVincenzo. Pass to Randall. They need this. No good. They are enjoying a commanding lead.
And it really gives them the opportunity to give their starters a rest. Always critical when you get ready for that home stretch.
.110 left to play here in the third. And timeout called by Chris Finch. Coach is going to talk some things over with the team. Might be seeing something to adjust. Irving's checked in for Iverson. Home team on D. 19-point lead, which is the largest margin in the game. Here's Irving. Around the back and lays it in. Irving's got 10.
What I like here, even with the big lead, they continue to execute their offense.
Yeah, to put together this kind of performance at both ends of the floor on the road, it's impressive.
Pass to Shannon. Three-pointer on the way. Knocks down the 3-ball.
I like the pass, moving it to get a better look.
And oh boy, a lot of contact there, but he gets the call and will shoot 2.
So hard to contain. Irving enjoys putting the D on their heels and drawing fouls.
Luka Doncic, he's checked in for Edgecombe. Minnesota trails by 20. Now Ingles. Here's Dillingham. To the paint. Here's Reed. Good. And Miller gets the assist.
Not easy inside there for Reed, but he made something happen.
Definitely got to use the clock here and get the last shot.
Yeah, but if you get an open look, you got to think about taking it no matter how much time is left on the clock. Well, you can see why he's a go-to guy for them. They trust in his ability to shoulder the offensive load.
Reed with a screen on Harden. Off the mark there with the three-point shot. The 3 quarters of play all in the books, and this one all but over already. Delivering the blowout. And coming up as soon as we return from break, the 4th quarter. And we reach the 4th quarter in a game that may be already out of hand. And so in the game for the Timberwolves, Randall and Reed holding down the post spots. Then it's Joe Ingles. Then it's Dillingham. And it's Shannon in at the shooting guard position. Gilgeous-Alexander kicks to Harden. And it's out of bounds. They say it was last touched by Randall. Here's Harden. Good for the 5th time in 5 shots. He remains perfect.
And what control from Harden inside, adjusting his shot perfectly for that short-range make.
Harden's gone a perfect 5 for 5 from the field. Pass to Shannon. There's the triple. Rebound by Wallace. Wallace has got his 7th rebound here tonight. Top of the key. Iverson with the bucket.
Well, he saw some daylight and fired away.
So it's Minnesota now. 1 minute now into this 4th quarter. Dillingham with it. Pass to Ingles from outside the arc. Rebound by Wallace. Wallace has got 8 rebounds in this game. Here's Gilgeous-Alexander. Chalk up 2 there.
And good work inside. SGA will make more room for himself on the perimeter when he can be effective down low.
SGA's gotten 3 of his 4 shots to fall, hitting 75%. Randall outside, and there's the call on Bosh. That's his first foul. The Timberwolves making a switch here. Edwards is checked in. Just over a minute and a half played here in the 4th. The 3 bangs home the trifecta.
And they have been relentless from deep. And you see the defense trying to react, but to no avail.
Look, when the 3 is falling like this, there's not a whole lot you can do defensively.
Here's Doncic. Capitalizes off the crossover.
And sometimes players forget that Doncic is 6'7", meaning he's more than capable of scoring inside.
So it's the Timberwolves now. Up top, Randall. Covered by Williamson. And the whistle blows. It's going to be on Luka Doncic. That's his first foul. Randall finds Conley. Shoots. And there's another one for the Timberwolves.
Look, Conley's run pick and roll 1,000,000 times. Knows when to pass it, knows when to keep it.
Irving. From down in the low post, it goes. 16 points for Kyrie Irving.
Oh, the D has to show a little more resistance down there.
We're in the 4th quarter here, just under 2.5 minutes gone. To the middle, here's McDaniels, takes the 3. Luka Doncic grabs the miss. Outside Irving. In it goes for the 8th time in 10 tries.
And when Irving is rolling like this, it's really special to watch. Not much the D can do.
Here's Conley. We're in the final quarter of play here. 3 minutes in. Outside Edwards. No good with the triple. They have been really controlling this one.
You never want to be complacent on the floor. That's when you lose momentum.
Harden gets the bucket.
They just won't miss. I mean, this is incredible.
Well, as a coach, this is when you enjoy what you're watching. Your team playing well and everything just flowing.
And Minnesota has possession. A bit under 3.5 minutes have passed here in the fourth. And that'll be 2 free throws coming up. Officials on the call with the foul.
Second personal foul.
And you think back to when McDaniels was drafted. Everyone talked about his potential. Now they're talking about his consistency as a contributor, especially at the defensive end. And that's a situation where you must make them all to get back into the game.
Timberwolves ball.
Timeout.
Rose, he's checked in for Gilgeous-Alexander. There's 1:38 left to play here in the fourth. Randall finds Conley. Over in the corner, McDaniels. For 3, Edwards. Out to Conley. And stolen by Iverson. Williamson with it. Picked up by Edwards. They get the rebound. Pass to Edgecombe. Here is Rose. The rebound by Edwards. Down low, here's Randall, and the shot is good, dropping in off the front of the rim.
Yes, we've seen the range from Randall, but at his core, he's a big who excels around the hoop.
And here's Iverson outside. Rose looking around. And basket number 6 to his stat sheet. He's now 6 for 10.
And those are the kinds of plays that are just killing them right now.
And it's Conley with the ball for Minnesota.
Home team foul. Allen Iverson. First personal foul. Fourth team foul.
That free throw missing.
Well, respected both on and off the floor, Conley is one of those guys that leads by example.
This could get even more out of hand if they continue to put up points.
Wow, Kevin, what a performance we are seeing.
Here's Rose. Goes straight to the defender for the dunk. Draws the foul. He'll go to the line.
Second personal foul.
It's on Anthony Edwards.
Minnesota foul.
And it's just competing, you know, giving your best when it matters most.
Yeah, they've got clutch guys on this team, and they never let up.
The free throw drops for Rose.
And already, Rose may be the most athletic point guard in the league. Amazing quickness to go with that leaping ability.
McDaniels gets a wide open look. A three-pointer off the mark. 19 seconds left in the game. Outside Rose. And the layup's good off the glass.
And as long as he retains that great explosion in his legs, Derrick Rose will be a factor around the rim.
And here's Randall. So the home crowd happy here as they get the victory. And the outcome of this one was never in doubt.
And boy, they really put in a